Right now, I have Genesis 5 up on my computer, and it's the genealogies from Adam to Noah. Adam's family line, he made them in the likeness of God. He created them male and female and blessed them, and he named them mankind when they were created. Adam had lived 130 years and named the son Seth. Then Seth was born. Adam lived 800 more years with other sons and daughters that aren't named. Although Adam lived a total, altogether, Adam lived 930 years. Seth, at 105, had Enosh, and lived to 912. Enosh had Kenan when he was 90, and then lived till 905. Kenan had Mahalalel and lived to 840 years, and then Kenan lived 910 years. Mahalak became the father of Jared, and then lived 830 years, 895 years. When Jared had lived 162 years, he had Enoch. Jared lived 800 years and had other sons and daughters and lived 962 years. And then Enoch lived 65 years and had Methuselah, and then walked for 300 years faithfully with God while having other sons and daughters. Because God took him away. Methuselah became the father of Lamech. Lamech, Methuselah lived 969 years, and then Lamech had Noah at 182. He named him Noah and said, "He will comfort us in the labor and painful toil of our hands caused by the ground the Lord has cursed." Lamech lived 777 years, and then Noah was 500 years old when he had Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And it's really long time. If you add up all those numbers, you get a couple thousand years. Obviously, of all those people living. Obviously, some of them live together. There is a Bible timeline somewhere. It just is interesting to me that for a while people lived so long, and then there's the flood where people live less time. Because in Greek mythology, specifically with Deucalion, or not with Deucalion's flood, Deucalion was the survivor of the flood in Greek mythology. But in Greek mythology, you had the ages of man. You had the Gold Age, the Bronze Age, all the ages of man. Let me double check. I'm going to pull those up. Like you had the Hero Age, the Golden Age. Mortals lived like gods, free from pain. Silver Age. Child remained a child for 100 years. Then men were foolish and committed crimes. Then the Bronze Age, men were violent and warlike. That's when we had the whole situation with everything. Then we had the Age of Heroes. Men were demigods, but always engaged in war. And then we have the Iron Age, which we're not in the Iron Age anymore, but yeah. In the late 6th century BCE was when those were committed, and then Ovid took it to gold, bronze, silver, iron. But there's six. But it's interesting that the Bible has that, and the Greek mythology has that. Mycenaean Greek and Israelite literature crosses a decent amount with the oral tradition because of being on the Mediterranean. But I just think it's very, very interesting that there is that situation with those years, and then God's like, man will not live past 120, and I don't think anybody outside the Bible's lived to 120 ever. Obviously, we have the older um, people, but in nowhere in Greek mythology does it say man will only live to 120. And now science is being like, yeah, we could probably get people to live to about 120, but maybe we can make him immortal.